salesperson, but you've got to want to do it. But there are some people out there that are natural born salespeople. They just have the most uncanny gift of persuasion, and they can get clients in your business. And that's who you're trying to find. You're trying to find that person that loves the persuasion. They love the deal. They love the possibilities of closing. It's the guy that comes in and says, don't pay me a basic, just pay me commission. I don't want a basic. Put me on a sliding scale. I'm going to impress the shit out of you. I'm going to, that's the person you're looking for. And I would say that I would reckon probably 1 in every 300 salespeople are like that. So this is a question that, I get asked this question forever. And if you ever get a nugget, you ever get a gem like this, keep them at all cost, pay them well, because they really, really, really are rare. I found that great salespeople are extremely rare. So, you pick them, you're going to have to pay money to find them. Some people say go to employment agencies. Some people say advertise on Facebook. Some people say, advertise in other mediums. I have found I've done advertising on Facebook for staff. I've not been very successful with it. I find that Facebook, because they are so PC and so, they're so careful about stepping on people's toes and people getting upset with Facebook. What happens is, if I want to say I'm looking for this, Facebook won't let me choose what I want. They tell me, we will put your ad in front of everybody. And, I don't necessarily want everybody. You know what I mean? I might be looking for somebody that's in my area with this skill set. They, I want this much experience, and they need to be, trained in this fashion and so forth. And I just find I don't get those results on there. But obviously, if you do have a specialist recruiting company, sometimes finding a recruiting company that only specializes in salespeople might be the route to go. But I do find, it costs you a lot of money. They charge you, I think, 12% of between 12 and 15% of the person's annual income for you to employ them, with a 3-month guarantee that should the person not be what they say they are, they will then replace them. But I've had a situation where I've had a person replaced 6 times, because every person they brought to me, I interviewed them and I thought, wow, this guy really sounds great, but actually they were crap. So I'm going to give you a little secret here. Is what you want to do is become brilliant at online marketing. You want to become brilliant at positioning your product or service online, so that a customer checks you out online and then they go, oh my goodness, this company is where I want to spend my money. Then what you do is, you don't employ salespeople, you employ articulate paperwork people. Because now you've already closed the person online. So what I do is I coach business owners how to build that platform, that when the customer goes through everything, they go, wow. Ask yourselves the question, guys. There are 300 and something people in this room today, 600 plus people registered for this thing today. I don't know. I know some of you, because some of you are, guys that I've coached before and done business with before. But most of you, for the most part, I don't know you, but you know me. How did that happen? Well, I put CarTalk together and I sat and talked shit every day in the car. I give you value, and then I do whiteboard presentations, and then I do the boardroom talk, and then I do stupid shit. I did one video that had 375,000 views. Now, here's the thing. You all see me. You all know me. And so when I did my CarTalk and said, okay, business, this strategy, that strategy, and by the way, I'm going to have a free session. Your 4 hours is valuable to you just as it is valuable to me. You registered on this platform, and here you are. And so what did I do? I put something tangible, valuable, of some sort in front of you, and you've reciprocated and you've registered here because you want to learn some new business and so forth. So I go into a lot of people's social media platforms and websites, and there's no value. There's nothing. You're just sticking product in front of me. And I'm looking at it going, I don't feel the love. You know what I mean? I'm not feeling like we're going to dance. There's no candlelight. There's no dinner. There's no whiskey. It's just, hey, let's just do a deal. And that's what I'm finding is happening with most of the businesses that I see. There's no love. There's no romance. There's no dating. It's ons gaan nou skommel. That's it. And you chase customers away. You know what I mean? You chase them away. These guys, they're looking for something to trust you with, but you're not putting it in front of them because you're trying to get the sale. And so that question, Let me turn that question around and change my answer. You build an online sales engine that people fall in love with you, trust you, get credibility from you. Then they'll want to do business with you. They'll arrive with their money and they'll want to buy from you. Do you understand the concept? And so that's the way you need to design it. And so part of my special that I'm doing today is I'm actually going to be giving away a coaching session, a launch, what we call it the impact launch session. I'm going to be doing an impact session, boom, and get you going on the right track. But I'm going to be brutally and heavily honest with you. Now, if you don't like honesty, then go somewhere else. But I'm the guy that will tell you how it is. I'm the guy that's going to look at your website and say, shit, you need to change this. I'm the guy that's going to look at your social media and say, oh my God, this is a train wreck. I'm the guy that's going to look at your protocols, your mechanisms, and what you do and say, oh my goodness, you need to do this. I'm that guy. I don't care if I hurt your feelings. My goal is to change your business. My goal is to fix your business. My goal is that the outcomes is I got another message today where a person said to me, Andrew, our business is booming. Everything you told me 3 years ago, we've implemented, and eventually now suddenly this thing has taken off. They were willing to stay the course and do for 3 years. Most people want a result quick. So write this down. Write this down. Most people overestimate what they can achieve in 1 year and underestimate what they can achieve in 5 years. Everybody wants to become a millionaire in their first year. Everybody wants to have everything working in the first year, but they're not willing to put systems and structure and skill sets in place, right? Skill sets in place for a time period to build build the habit. Another thing that I read today, I think it's later in my presentation, which was also extremely profound for me, is that we no longer set goals in our company. And this is also, when I interviewed Nige, is that we don't set goals so much in your company so much as what you develop skills and then have a habit attached to the skill. Because if your habit keeps on implementing and doing the skill, you will get the best result. Whereas sometimes we set a goal and we say, well, our goal is to get there and we're going to achieve this. The problem is that we don't know if people have the skill set to achieve it. And so sometimes it's pie in the sky. And that's the problem. So you all go, oh, we're going to be a billionaire in 3 years. Yeah, right, sure. With who? The one-eyed, bent over ear, 3 teeth guy? No. You got to find the right skill set with the habit to implement and apply to be able to get the result. So I hope that helps you, Calvin. I know it's a long explanation to a short question, but nonetheless, it is what it is. Okay, so let's carry on. Oh, yes, looking at. So our special. So you're going to get a one-on-one impact coaching session from me directly. And when I say directly, it has to be on Zoom, but it will be one-on-one and it will be with me directly. That's going to be a bolt-on to one of my my specials for tonight. Remember, you must always be selling. And a lot of people say, oh, you're just trying to get me on this whole thing so you can sell me something. Really? Like I'm going to give you 4 hours training for free, where I could be sitting watching some, I don't know, friggin' the Billionaire Underdog or something. What's that thing called that we watch? The Billionaire, Undercover Billionaire. That's what I'm busy watching at the moment. I'm enjoying that. And so I'm going to give you a game changer. I know it's silly. This is really silly. I got this video just 2 minutes before we started. Watch this. This is cool.
If you had 24 hours with me and I couldn't say no, what would we do?
Nou toe, wasmasjien is daarso, strykplank is daarso, kombuis is daai kant toe. As jy klaar is, ek soek iets om te eet asseblief. Dankie.
Hey, I tell you, you got to love us as South African guys, eh? So, daar's die wasmasjien. Maak reg. All right, so the second phase, we talked about business mastery. Let's talk about diversification and specialization, and these are going to be relatively quick. But once you've mastered your business and things are all working well, there's the question: what now? What are we going to do next? Obviously, at this point, we have to make decisions, and we have to say, right. So what's the new pathway that we want to go? What do we want to specialize in? What's the diversification that we want to sort of add or change? And or is it time to sell the company? So the rule of selling a business is never sell a business when it's not making money. Never sell a business when your business is in chaos. Never sell a business when, then everything is not working, when the staff are despondent, you despondent. That's not the right time to sell a business. The best time to sell it is when everything is absolutely booming. Because then whoever comes in will feel that, will see the numbers, they'll check out the profitability, and they'll be very interested. Also, if your company is booming, they can bolt it onto their company and so forth. And so you want to make sure that at this point in time, we talk about diversification, specialization. I just want to see, that's not covering the screen. No, it isn't. So diversification and specialization is, at this point in time, we have to ask ourselves this question: what is your business worth? Once you've mastered your business, it's very difficult to measure the valuation of a company when it's busy growing, or it's like growing pains, or you're struggling along trying to get people and trying to get a product off the ground. Because at that point in time, there is no real intrinsic value in that business. But once the business has, an engine to it, I always say to people, stop trying to make money. Rather build an engine that makes money. Rather get that engine going, because that's really that's where the power is, and that's where the value is in a company. And so, what is your business worth right now? I always ask people to evaluate their business, and the first answer that they give me is, I don't know what my company is worth. And that's scary. You're working in your business 10 hours a day, 6 days a week for 20 years. And when a person says to you, what's your business worth? You say, I don't know what my business is worth. Like, really? So Google how to value my company, or go and buy a book that teaches you how to value your company. I actually have a good friend in America who has a business. Her book is called How to Sell Your Business for More Than It's Worth. It's a great book to read. Her name is Michelle Seiler Tucker. She's a good friend of mine. She lives in the great state of Louisiana, in New Orleans. And she wrote a great book, and it's very simple and easy to read. I see she just launched a new book recently. I can't remember what it is, and you can't buy it yet. It's a pre-order thing. But you want to be able to understand the value of your company, because you can't diversify and specialize and so forth until you've solidified your business, you've mastered your business. And then we need to, as we go along, I find that most people don't have an exit strategy. They don't build an exit strategy. And so if you don't have an exit strategy, you never know what your business is worth at any one given time. And that's why we have the exit strategy. And so in this particular case, once you know where you're at, then we can start asking questions like, so where can we merge with other companies or do joint ventures with other big organizations where there is a value? Remember, let me give you an example. I build a business, let's just say, and I've got 10,000 clients, and they buy from me every month and so forth, and I'm selling one particular type of product. If I wanted to, at this point in time, I could go and find another company that wouldn't mind selling to my 10,000 customers, and we could then create some kind of deal. Whether you call it a merge, or your JV, or, reciprocational deal, or an SLA, or whatever the hell you want to call it. At the end of the day, if you've got 10,000 clients and you are selling, let's just say you are selling the mask, and the other company is selling something else associated with that, it's a kind of a natural fit. And that company would be very, very interested in doing business with you, because you have that thing in place. So when we talked about mastery, we're talking about now you're communicating with the customers, you've got engines, you've got systems. I mean, you're a sexy, slick, amazing business. Who wouldn't want to share your database with you? Whereas most people, companies that I meet, they don't have that. They don't have that engine. And so I'm looking at them going, it doesn't feel like you're going to bring me any value. I've got value. I know I've got value. I don't know if I want to share my value with you. And so when we talk about diversification, or now becoming a specialist, this is the point in time when we evaluate, or we understand what our business is, the value it brings to our marketplace, and then how we can plug it into something else. I have a lot of people that want to joint venture with me, but when I go and check them out, I find they need me so badly. Their systems are rubbish. Their products are rubbish. Their staff are rubbish. Everything's rubbish, but they want to, remember, the sexier you become, the more people want to be around you. The better your business is, the more momentum that you have, the more you're going to attract everybody, and everybody wants to be in business with you. And so ask yourself the question, are you that company? So we talk about mastery. We're not playing patty cake here. This is serious stuff. Are you a master of your entity? And the next question is, can you specialize? Can you create something new, unique, and offering with its own price point? So here's the thing. If you know something that nobody else knows that has a unique price point, you can ask anything you want. But obviously, you've got to make sure that it doesn't suck you in again. Because remember, we talk about the next point is to get out of your business, exiting your business, and, kind of not working in it. But my friend's dad, he does welding of fuel lines. but they don't turn the fuel off. So what he does is the fuel is still flowing through the pipe. Now there's obviously some challenge it's starting to wear through. He then goes and cuts that piece out, and then he welds a new piece on there whilst the fuel is flowing through. Now that is a great skill set, and they pay him a lot of money. The problem is that he's too scared to teach anybody the skill because it's so unique. So he is trapped. And so when you specialize, you don't want to get trapped. You want to make sure the specialization is an entity specialization and not an individual specialization. Very, very important. Obviously, you have to ask yourself where you can push your business to. Once you've mastered it, where do you push it to in the next phase? And so are you going to diversify, get other products, goods, services, new divisions, new and so forth, or are you going to merge with somebody else, or take it to the next level and double it, triple it, quadruple it, whether it be increasing your margins, increasing your advertising, whatever the case may be. And like I said there, what new divisions can you bolt onto your business? Because now we're in the diversification and specialization zone. Remember, once you've got, your 5, 8, 10,000 customers that trust you, no matter what you add on, they're going to buy from you because they already trust you. And so the first thing is to get the customers. First thing is to get the base. Now, we've just launched a company. In fact, when I say just launched, we're launching on the 8th of April. We're just launching an entity that is, I'm telling you, it's going to skrik for niks. And if you're from England, that means you're going to be scared of nothing. If you're from New Zealand, it's going to be how to attack and kill a Kiwi without a club. Now, I'm just trying to throw a couple of examples out there. I know we've got people from the Netherlands on this platform today. It's like stomping on frogs. It's like, we've created this entity that is going to create, literally tens of thousands of leads per month for individual companies. And then we're going to have an internal pool and create hundreds of thousands of leads per month. Now, this can only be created because we've now solidified our businesses, and now we're in the diversification zone or the specialization zone. And so imagine I say to you, I can offer you or put you into a pool of, let's just say a platform that firstly has over 1 million people following it. Number two is that it has hundreds of thousands of leads. And I can tell you that they are either B2B or B2C type clients. I mean, what would you pay to be in that kind of framework? Now, the only reason this happened is because we've now done our businesses and we're in this phase, diversification, specialization. So you've got to look at your business once it's mastered, and don't do this before you've created this mastery. You've got to look at your business differently and say, what's our next step? Where are we going to next? Because this is really what happens. Now, of course, we go to the third phase, which is the exit phase. And this is where, we make that decision. And like I said, to exit your business, the following things have to be in place. Number one, you have to have management processes in place to be able to run the company. Should you exit and disappear and go somewhere else, there has to be a system or something like that to run the business. Number one. Number two, come on. Hey, this thing's gone all haywire on me. Put everything in front. Feels like my computer slowed down there for a second. Okay, number two is effective teams. So if you're gonna exit your business, you've got to have effective teams that can literally, build the company to the next level without you, where you're not the X factor. And so who would you need to have in place to be able to do that? So you've got to have a group of intrapreneurs, people that are in your business that have got an entrepreneurial mindset and they're building the business. Now, how you know they are intrapreneurs is if you go away for 2 weeks and you come back and your turnover has increased, they've brought in a whole bunch of new ideas and strategies and so forth, and that's happened. Then you've got yourself some intrapreneurs. Don't think of changing or leaving your business until this is actually true. Then, of course, have you got software implemented? And somebody asked earlier about business automation. And so there is software out there that you can implement that allows your company to literally plug into an engine, right? And the business automation or trackable platform allows the business to be very, very sequential, and it becomes more predictable and more, there's systems and checkpoints and measurements and everything in place in the business automation software that allows you to not be there, because you can then check in. You could be in a hotel room in Dubai if you wanted. You could be skiing in Whistler Resort in Canada. And you could be checking out your business. And so I find a lot of business owners don't think about this. They're just kind of working in their business all day, every day. They're not thinking about actually building an entity like this and taking their business to the next level. And obviously, you've got to have you've got to have the full suite. And the full suite is training. You've got to have training elements and everything in place. You've got to have recruitment in place, someone that understands the recruitment process. You've got to have a sales team, where the sales are happening. You've got to have a resales team. In other words, an after sales team, and then the fulfillment team, people that actually physically get the work done. You cannot exit your business until these things are in place. And I find a lot of people have kind of got this dreamy thought of, I don't really need to ever have these things in place. I can just pop in from time to time. But if you haven't got these systems in place and you're just popping in from time to time, what ultimately happens is your business slowly starts to slide backwards. And I've seen it happen a million times. Okay, not a million, that's an exaggeration, but at least 1,000 times, where I've coached businesses where they haven't put this in place, and it's caused a ruckus, and that becomes a little bit of a challenge out there. And obviously, we start then doing what we call the phasing process, where you now start working 3/4 days. You only arrive, or maybe you get in early and you leave at 2 or 3, and then half days, quarter days. And eventually, it gives you an opportunity to test your staff to see whether they can implement and do what needs to be done so that you can exit your business. The goal is you build a business so that you can exit a business. The goal is to build a business that you can sell, make a lot of money, and then be able to sail around the world for the rest of your life. Or the goal is to be able to build something that can continue and pay you kind of almost like a pension. There's like that pension mentality. If you go and give your money to Old Mutual for the next 20, 30 years, they're going to pay you out a little miserable morsel. But I mean, I've got a friend of mine. He works for his dad. His dad hasn't worked for about 20 years. They own a medical business, and the son owns 10%. The father owns 90%, and the father makes millions and millions and millions and millions every single year. And the son's running the company, and he's completely happy and satisfied to run the company because he's doing well too. But he was very clever that he didn't give the whole thing away. He brought his son in, trained his son, gave him a share of the company. And I mean, the son every now and then bitches and moans and, it's not fair and it's not this and it's not that. But that's very, very clever. He exited the business and he has somebody that's reliable and in the family and so forth that can run it. So, you have to ask yourself, when can you exit your business? And a lot of guys say, I can exit my business. And I say, okay, cool. Let's go. I'm going on this golf tour. Obviously now not with COVID, but I'm going on this golf tour. It's 178 days. It costs £99,000, and you're going to play on 125 of the top golf courses around the world. It's first class. You're going to fly first class. You're going to stay first class. You're going to go to every single game where the Masters have been played or the majors have been played. You're going to play the top golf courses. You're going to be spoiled rotten. £99,000. That's what's that now? Nearly 2 million rand for 178 days. And so when I saw the special, I thought, wow, well, not the special, the promotion of it. And then I checked out with the lady and I said, okay, so what's the availability? She says, no, the availability is fine. She says, we don't have a problem with people who have money to go on this tour. We have a problem with people that have enough time to take out of their businesses or whatever else to go on this tour. So it's people's time that's the problem, not money. And so when we talk about exit phase, we're talking about being able to pull yourself out of your business and no longer be there. That is a very, very high level of success. And the question is, how far are you away from that? So on a scale of 1 to 10, in the comments column, in the chat section over here, I'm just going to get my chat activated again. In the chat section over here, I want you to put in there, scale of 1 to 10, how far are you away from being able to exit your business in this framework? It's quite scary. I think in most cases, it's very, very scary. So you tell me, let's check what you say. Let's see what the numbers are. Gee whiz, there's lots of questions. We're going to be here until midnight. Okay. Right. And then obviously the last phase, the reinvention. And reinvention, I just want to see if this is covering it on, it's covering it on my screen, not yours. I just need to move my chat a bit. Okay. So after mastery, obviously you build that second business or you step out. And so when we talk about reinvention, this is the phase where you've now kind of really and truly become fantastic at building one company. Now, here's the good news is that if you can build one company and you can step out of one company, it means you can build another company and you can step out of the second company. But the difference is when you build the second company, you build it with a step out in mind. You don't build it with a stay in mind. And that's the secret to being able to, when we talk about reinvention, that's really what we're talking about in this framework, is being able to move out of the thing. My little check is covering everything over here. Okay, and then obviously in this phase, we choose a complementary product service allowing you to cross-sell. Now you've got a company or a few companies where you can actually add value and cross-sell within those companies. And think of a company like Bidvest and these big guys. That's what they can do. They can cross-sell and they can move their leads and business between them. Or you create an engine that complements any one of your existing businesses, and then you can add new business. That's really what you want to try and achieve in this framework, is to be able to get yourself in a space where you've got a lot of room to move, and you can add that on there. And like I said, the goal obviously, you create an engine. And I'll keep on saying this: create an engine that feeds the other businesses. Think of Bidvest. If Bidvest buys any one company, I'll give you an example. One of my biggest competitors, a water business, they had 18,000 clients. What they do is they put a water cooler in your office, water dispenser, and so they leave it there for 2 weeks, and then they come back 2 weeks later and say, right, we're going to take it away or keep it. They signed up the companies like that. And so Bidvest comes along. Bidvest has got, I don't know how many thousands of clients they've got. So when this company was brought into the Bidvest fold, that water business suddenly grew to 100,000 clients. So it took them 15 years to grow to their client base that they had. And then they joined Bidvest, and within 2 to 3 years, had 100,000 clients. And so because the database and the engine was there, the cross-selling ability happens and the credibility happens, and suddenly, boom, we've got ourselves. That's called reinvention. And so that's when we're taking our business to a point of almost, I'm going to use my favorite word. It's called endoclimatic growth. We're talking about, off the cliff great. It's fantastic. If I look at the numbers over here, I've got a minus 200, I've got a 1, I've got a 3, I've got a 0. Oh my goodness. And a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 1, a 6.5. Not bad, Clint. 1, 2, and then a minus 2,000. Oh my goodness. I've got a 0%, 0, 3, 6, and then 1 out of 10. No jokes. We got a 4, we got a 20%. Still have a lot to do. Yes, you do. Then there's a 10. It says a 10 can't leave for a week and the wheels fall off. Okay, that's not a 10. Kim, that's definitely not a 10. A 0. We got a 3 out of 10, a 1, 8. Oh, there's an 8. Oh my goodness, 8. Oscar, you biscuit. Now I know Oscar because I coached Oscar. So I don't know if it's because of my coaching, but Oscar, I'm pretty impressed, big guy. We haven't spoken for a long, long time. Thanks for the referrals, by the way. I do appreciate it. Something that we had a special, you guys may know, our team are currently working on the spreadsheets to see who has arrived, because the special that we had was, if you invite and have 5 people join today, I'm going to give you a free coaching session. And so our teams are working in the background to see who's physically shown up. Remember, I told you we had over 600 people that registered. And if I look at my numbers at the top of this thing right now, it says, I think 300 and something people. I've got to get this thing to work. It takes its sweet time. It worked. Oscar says it worked. Thanks, Oscar. You owe me lunch, or I owe you lunch. I don't know. Still have a lot to do to shape my business. So here's the thing, guys, is that when we get to this reinvention, our business takes on a shape that is extremely exciting, extremely fun. And that's when our business really starts to take shape and become something. And so when we talk about scaling our business, we start with this. I just want to see, can you see my mouse? Yes, you can. So we start and we get this thing done, and then we duplicate that platform, and then we just do it again, and we do it again and again and again. And that's when you become a business like a Bidvest type company or any other company where you can physically see the outcome before you even start. You've got the systems in place to launch. You've got everything in place to make it happen immediately and quickly. And that's, I'm terribly excited at the moment, because I feel like I've been working for the last, 10, 12 years, putting the systems in place, the companies in place, the teams in place for this new venture that is so exciting. Like I said, we're losing sleep because we've done all these things for so long individually, and now the masterpiece is coming together, and it is super, super gratifying and exciting that we can actually do that at this particular point in time. Okay, so when I did my CarTalk, I talked about Nige. Nige is a friend of mine. He's a real hooligan. You talk about a guy who can really and truly get you excited. This guy gets me excited. When I buy, I never buy him lunch. He always pays for the lunch. He refuses to let me pay. But I asked him how he builds a 100 million rand company in such a short amount of time. And when I say 100 million, we're talking about a valuation of a company where he finds an idea, grows the business, and within a few short months, he's got massive traction. And I know his first two companies, the first company he sold for 77 million and the second company sold for 142 million. He built his third company is still busy being built, and he's now launched the fourth company. And so when I interviewed him, I asked him, I said to him, what did you do? What did you do? So just for a little bit of fun, in the chat space over here, I want you to give me some ideas as to what you think he did to get to this kind of traction, to make and build companies this fast. What do you think he did? So while I'm busy going through this, I want you to put your answers in the chat section, and let me answer the question. Now, I don't want to know what the industry is. Grant, you've answered and said telecommunications. That's not what I want to know. I want you to tell me the actual functionality that he did. Some of you are here saying investing in property, networking, online marketing, cross-selling, online ordering. No, I want you to answer in the framework of, in terms of the company. What did a person do? Someone over here said, surround himself with great teams, believe in yourself. I believe in myself, but I don't build, that kind of thing. A positive mindset. Yeah, everyone's positive. I know a lot of positive people that are broke. The right foundation, structures, passion. Yes. They use other people's time and money. Yeah, that could kind of be a good thing. Software development. No, he's actually not in the software development business at all. He filled in the gap in the marketplace. You normally need to do that, otherwise you won't close deals. If I knew, I would be doing it myself. Absolutely. Membership, perhaps reoccurring. Delegation, develop a scalable framework. Obviously, you have to do that. Create a need. Yes, you can, but creating a need takes a long time. So normally, it's better to identify a need. Mindset and thinking. Used old business connections to invest heavily in social media. No, not really. Apps, nope, you didn't get into apps. Structuring, empowering your staff, well-trained staff, executive. That would have to be an element of what you do, definitely. Understanding funnels, I guess that would be a big part of that as well. But that's not the big picture. Invested hugely in advertising. Yes and no. He didn't need to do that. Partnerships, obviously, if you have the right partnerships, things change. Owen says he has a God-given talent that can't be taught. It can be taught. Yes, he does have a talent, but it can be taught. You don't have to have it. You can learn it, providing you have the guts to implement. It's congruent and JVs, delegation, sponsorship, had a great vision, worked smart and hard, risk management, didn't take his foot off the pedal. Yeah, pretty much, I guess so. One thing he didn't do is he doesn't work in his own companies. That for me is the most mind-blowing thing ever. You got a product fit to quick built automated systems to replicate sales. That's not something that happens quickly, by the way. It takes time. Systems in place. Bitcoin. Nope, he didn't invest in Bitcoin. I know he does have Bitcoin, but that's not what he did. Took big risks. Secure online payment. Geez, like guys, you guys are on fire. Got customers to give them huge value. Crypto, no. Market intelligence, not quite sure what that means in this framework. Put up network mobile towers, in a country like South Africa. If you're not one of the big 3 or 4, you can't do that. Excellent service, market first, then chose the top industries and invented a methodology, outperformed the current companies. I guess that would be part of it. Keeping up with tech, I think that you should or would have to do that. Made people believe in him via his marketing campaigns. He definitely has a very persuasive personality type. He opened a strip club. Really? A strip club? I guess you could make 100 million rand out of a strip club. I don't go to those places, but anyway, minimal monthly service fees, invested in Bitcoin, no. Intense focus, obviously. Website domains, no. Identified what people wanted and automated how service would they need. That's obviously a prerequisite of any business. Acquisitions, no. Networking, no. Networking and partnerships, depending on partnerships, connecting with the right people. Okay, so I can see that most of these answers are kind of like, what would be that first knee-jerk reaction. So let's go through what they were. So number one is he did an extensive needs analysis of a product or service before starting. His number one rule is he never goes to a marketplace unless he has researched the living bejeebies out of a product or a service to understand that the product, when we talk about needs analysis, that people really, 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 really need it. He doesn't sell things that people don't need. Number two, he says he chose a high impact economy of scale product or service, like obviously like a vital software or something that has a multiple transactionary value. Now, this is not the business that he started, but I'm going to give you an example of this, is that a friend of mine, Rory, what he did was he developed a software, which is a gateway security software between every financial transaction that happens between the banks and the vendor. So the vendors are mortgage originators, car dealerships, anything where there was finance or something to be done. He had that software in the middle. And if you think of old, what was his name, Mark Shuttleworth, he did the same sort of thing. He just invented something that everybody needed, and where there was already transactions going on, where there was a transactionary value, as I put there, multiple. And so he put his little widget in the middle, and then everybody had to go through him. And so Rory did the same thing. I met this guy. I played in a Nedbank retail golf day at Sun City just before the $1 million. And I met Rory. And this guy's he's a billionaire in South Africa. And he just invented this thing. And all he does is he manages it. And he managed to sell it to the banks. And they bought it lock, stock, and barrel. And his contracts were solid, and he got them in. And so everybody says, oh, I wish I could do that. Oh, I haven't got the contacts. Well, he didn't have the contacts either. How's this for a scary thing? Is he signed them up when he was 23 years old. He was only 23 years old. So he realized he was too young to go and see the banks himself. So he employed an elderly person who went and saw the banks as the sales rep. And so sometimes we make excuses about our age, about our looks, about our money, about our, what we have, but there's always a way to get around something. Right? Obviously, bringing on partners. What he does now is he says he always brings on partners that have got great influence and momentum already. He says he doesn't go into business with anybody that doesn't have momentum, someone that doesn't have a lot of contacts, a lot of clients and whatever else already. He doesn't go into business with them. That's his rules. These are just things he told me, and I'm just reiterating what he told me. He also creates a bolt-on product or service that the entity is already, where the company's already got a huge clientele. He builds a bolt-on to that. And that's where he makes his money, because there's already, like I said earlier, two types of business. You can sell product, or you can do the economies of scale type of business. And that's what he created. And then obviously what he does is he finds a niche, within an entity, a large entity, a corporate or something, where he knows they do not have the capacity to be able to do this themselves. And he goes and creates that. Now, he's got the connections to get in. Remember, he's been doing this for a long time. So some people say, yeah, well, it's fine for him. I mean, he's got the connections. Well, his first business, he didn't have the connections. He had to get in using creativity. But now he's in. Boom. He's got this magic that's happening. Obviously, he's building. He always builds what he says a high-value individuals. His teams are people that have a higher ability than normal. He always goes and finds people that shine or outshine their colleagues or co-workers, and those are the people that he employs. He doesn't employ average people. He says, he's got the pit bull, that Doberman pincher that's lean and hungry and ambitious. That's the person he brings in. And he says, yes, I pay a higher price tag for them, but they bring me results time and time and time again. And they're also competitive with each other, that they push everybody on. They get everybody fired up. And he does that in all of his businesses. Now, these are the things now you guys have all said, call it kind of industries, that what you put in here was industries. These are actions, and these are different to what you guys have answered. And then what he does is he brings in a high-level organizer or planner to orchestrate and implement. Like he says, his skill set is actually not good at organizing or planning, but he brings in that skill set, and that's what he uses to make it happen, to make the magic happen. And this guy's, we're talking about, this is power. And then what he does is he's very good at casting a vision and then getting everybody to aim much, much higher than normal and take risks. He gets people to take risks. He allows his staff to take risks. He allows, his business to aim high. And he constantly is, every time, like he says, every time he goes into the office, he's got the next level of vision. And then he gets everybody in and gets them all juiced up and fired up, and they're all like, oh my goodness, I thought we were there. Wow. He's never ever stops being fired up. He says, I wake up fired up, I wake up dreaming, I wake up casting vision, and I can't wait to get to my teams and get them fired up. And that's a skill set that you can build and develop. You don't have to have it. You don't have to be born with it. And then he says he develops a skill-based strategy, right? Remember, you said this earlier. He's moving away from goal setting. And then what he does is he unites skills with habit. And I mentioned this earlier, is that he believes that setting a goal is futile. What he says is you have to get skills and habits, because the habit to implement the skill creates a result versus just setting a goal. And most of us set goals. We want to make so much money. We want to have some, we want to have this kind of business. We want to sell all these different things. We want to get these types of clients. But that doesn't guarantee you success. But he believes is that you find someone with that skill and then make sure that you marry up the habit to the skill, because that's the engine. Like he says, that's the battery that makes stuff happen. And so when we're building our companies, you've got to ask yourself the question, is there one more? Yes, there is. He delegates intensely. He is an absolute monster, delegator of note. He delegates. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 points here. How many? Put in the chat over here, because remember, only I see it, no one else sees it. How many of these 10 are you implementing in your current business? There's 10 points. I'll leave it on the screen for a bit and we'll just chat for a while. But how many of you do that intensive analysis? How many of you choose high impact, high economies of scale? How many of you find the right connection, partnerships, and so forth? How many of you can bolt your product into a bigger network? How many of you can create niche that no one else can do and you go and sell it to big entities? How many of you have that high level organizational person within your organization? Most of us don't employ them because they do cost money, but they make things happen. How many of you can cast vision? How many of you can develop that skill-based strategy, the skill and habit, and of course, intensely delegate? Take a screenshot of this page. This is probably, in my opinion, this page and the next page was probably the most important things that you can learn tonight, because these are the things that build extraordinarily large and successful entities. Mastering your company and so forth is great. Yes, we have to do that, and we have to, build the exit strategy and all that type of thing. But this, when I sit with him, I walk away from the table going, oh my wordy word. I'm fired up, completely out of my mind. And I get time with him twice a year. We communicate twice a year. And he arrives in his Lamborghini Urus, and he lives, his house is a 2,900 square meter house on a cliff in Cape Town. The guy's just, he's just sickly wealthy. And he just says, Andrew, if you can commit to this and you can understand this, you can have whatever you want. But most people will fight for a small business. And, I say to people, I'll coach you and I'll take you to the next level. I see Oscar, generously has given me a compliment there, but Oscar implemented what we taught. And if you implement, you get the results. Sadly, I do coaching and I give people great ideas and they just don't implement. And then they wonder why they don't get the results. And it's sad for me. So you've taken the screenshot. I know you probably don't want to answer this question in the chat panel on the right-hand side for me. But stick out of there's 10 things over here. 1 out of 10, out of 10, rate yourself. And then, like I say, take a screenshot of this and then rate yourself. Of course, this is the next important slide, and this is our last teaching aspect for tonight, is the latest marketing trends. Now, I'm a big marketing fan. I love marketing because I realized, quite a while ago, without a marketing engine, you don't have a business. Without customers, you don't have a business. Without new leads coming in, you don't have a business. If you don't have, fresh blood coming through, a new business and, new turnover coming through, you don't have a business. And so I put this together, and this is what I've implemented. And in my new businesses, we've also done that, and we've changed the design of our companies. And so the first thing is stop marketing hundreds of products. Some of you have got 30 products, and you're trying to market all of these 30 products, and you can't understand why you can't sell them. The problem is, think of a drawing pin. On the one side, it's round and flat, and the other side is the pointy thing. Which one has the most effect? If you sit on the round, flat side, no effect. If you sit on the pointy side, you're going to jump up. And so when we do marketing, the secret is to find 1 or 2 products that people really, really, really resonate with. Like I coached a guy. You guys have seen these fly swatter things. It's like a little thing like this, and it's got a roundabout thing that flies around. It's got these reflectors on it. I've seen them on Facebook, and there's a lot of companies now selling them. But this guy, what he did is that he sells kitchen ovens. He sells very expensive kitchen ovens into hotels. And we're talking about ovens that cost starting price, 140 to 180,000 Rand. And so he said to me, I need something to get into companies. And so I said to him, your problem is that you're advertising, 15 different ovens, and these guys don't know what to buy. Why don't you find a product that can just get you into the kitchen to talk to the chef? And so what he did was he imported these roundabout things, and he would then go and give them away as gifts. And that was his marketing spend. And it allowed him to get into the kitchen, to talk to the chef, to find out what the chef had, to sell them an oven. And so I'm finding most companies and most businesses are not choosing that one or two products that people understand and people love and can accept. And because remember, what you're trying to do is build a database. Where's my mouse? You're trying to build a database. You're trying to get clients and database, right? And so then what you do is you choose that, right, that particular product or service, and then you sell that. You get leads, obviously trustable and understandable, because the product people understand. So you choose that one product, you choose that something that people can kind of understand, and you get the lead in the door. And so I had this guy down in Cape Town. He was very, very upset. He said, he was in the plumbing industry and he gets leads from the insurance companies, and he got very, very pissed off because he said the insurance company, they don't allow him to make much money on the geyser. They only let him charge the installation fee. And so he's getting like 40 installations a month. And I said to him, you are confused, because if you got 40 leads, your guys can upsell something else, when they arrive there. You got 40 clients to put onto your database every month. That's 480 people a year that's on your database, and you should be upselling and cross-selling them something else. And so the latest marketing trend is not to sell the website or send people to your website. It's to send them to a specialty platform. And that's what we're busy building right now, is a specialty platform that customers get driven to a sale. They get driven to a platform where they want to buy it, and then we start the journey. We actually create that journey for our clients, and that's what we've just created. So we use landers or splash page technology, and then we start the relationship. The goal is to start the relationship, get the customer in your circumference. And so you got to learn how to lose money to make money. I find a lot of people, the first thing they want to do is, if I'm not making millions from day one, I'm not interested in doing it. And I've just said to people, and I coach, most of the guys that I coach, I tell them, you need to understand the value of what a sale is worth. If you understand the journey of a customer, the lifetime value of the customer, and it's long term, you will not balk over the small price it costs you to get the customer. And so you need to understand this concept. I've said the example plumbing. I just actually gave you the example just before that. And obviously then you have to plug into, this is the big one. You got to plug into an entity that generates massive SEO, right? The goal is the entity has to get more than 3 to 5 million page hits a month, right? 3 to 5 million page hits a month. Because now what happens is you are now plugging into this vortex that is like spinning at 1,000,000 miles an hour, right? And you get that vortex and suddenly you get the leads. This is the power of this process. Your little budget that you have, your $2,000 on Facebook, is 1,000th of that kind of traction. And that's why anybody else that plugs into that entity is going to kill you in business. You're just not going to be able to compete with them. And like I said, this is what I'm building. This is the engine we're launching on the 8th. And of course, stop doing marketing yourself. You've got to focus on what you're good at. Focus on the things that you know how to do, and that is to close the deal, to make money, to make profit, to close sales, and let somebody else do the marketing for you. Unless you're a big enough, unless you're a big enough company, massive enough company to be able to afford your own marketing entity. And I'm learning, I've employed 3 or 4 marketing people over the last little while, and they go to these marketing colleges and marketing schools, but they are dumb as a stump. I have to sit and still teach them everything because they've gone and learned all the book smart stuff, and they don't know how to remember. I grew up in the gutter. You know what I mean? It's rats and mice in the gut. I've had to fight my way through. I've had to build businesses from scratch. I've had to become great at it because I couldn't afford somebody else. And then obviously now when I want to hand over to a marketing person, they just shit. They just don't know what the hell they're doing. It's all good looks and no brains or no efficacy. And I want someone that can get results. And so plug into this engine, plug into something that can build leads for you. And then, of course, the most important thing is be able to create a rotational audience. And so what is rotational audience? Is that this month I get in, let's say 100 leads. I service those leads, and not everybody buys from me, but I start rotating my communication tool with that person ongoing. And then the next month I get another 100 leads. Now I've got 200 people, and then I'm doing that. Then I've got 300 people, and then I'm doing it. And after a while, I've got 3,000 people, and I'm just rotating. And here's the thing: if you tell a person something again and again and again and again and again and again and again, they start to believe you. So if you keep telling these 300 clients, 400 clients, 500 clients, 600 clients again and again how amazing your products and services are, after a while they start going, oh my goodness, I've got to have the service. Now, most business owners will just not do this. Why? Because it feels like it's too much hard work. That's why we went and created this entity, for this exact reason. Now, these are the top trends. The only reason I've got into this and going into it is because I went and researched the top trends of business that is happening. And obviously, in this framework, we engage a reintroduction environment, obviously emailing, comms, and constantly reanimating, reselling, upselling, cross-selling products and services. And that old stodgy website that you have, that thing that is, it's got cobwebs on it, and it's still HTML type design, and it's not rotational, and it just, your photos are old, and it doesn't have a landing sales area, and it doesn't have an attractive thing, it doesn't have a recruitment tool, it doesn't have a sign up type of look and feel. Is that you guys are, and let me tell you something. We've got some. I'm going to show you. I don't know if I can go out of this right now. One of the websites that, can you guys see that? Yes, you can. So this was one of the websites, a person who's actually on this platform, and I'm really not doing this to embarrass you. I don't want you to feel like I'm picking on you, but when I saw this, I actually went through pretty much most of the websites, because just out of interest, as the leads are coming through, I clicked on them and checked out the website, and then clicked on them and checked out the website. The first thing that you want to observe is look at this. Look at the URL over here. The giftinglink.company.site. Now, the problem with that URL is, oh my goodness, how are you going to get found? The giftinglink.company.site. I mean, wow, that is a mouthful, right? So I thought, okay, let me check these guys out. And so there's a big picture of something. Now, if this was on my phone, I wouldn't be able to check it out or figure out what it is. But then we go to why choose us, and you're giving me a nice message. We're gifting your personal concierge, etc., etc., etc. Let me actually just go back to the, sorry, I beg your pardon. Let me just go back to the home page, because now I've already clicked on it. Let me just go back to the home page. I'll reset over here. Okay, there it is. Okay, so now we're back to the home page, and I get the message. And then there's the 3 items that you're offering me, right? So I'm seeing this, special occasion gifting. I'm seeing experiential gifting, and I'm seeing the e-announcements and invitations. And so you immediately put some referrals in front of me, or people that have said nice things about you, I live in Dubai, blah, 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 blah. And you've got a contact us thingy. You've got obviously a contact telephone number, which is great, which is fine. But here's my problem with this site. So now I click on this, and I want to go, and it's an experiential gifting. I click on it, and what it does is it opens up almost like you can see this whole thing. I just need to move my chat out of the way. It takes me to a checkout. Now over here on this checkout, firstly, it doesn't tell me what it costs, right? It doesn't tell me anything like that. But yeah, we've got cooking classes, barista, blah, 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 a whole bunch of different things that we can do, but no costs. Then if I say go to checkout or add, I can add this item. It says the item in the bag. I can do that. Now I think I had already done that. I think that's I need to move my camera out of the way. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. All right. So what I did was I clicked on that one, and then I go to the checkout, and then I also clicked on one of the other ones, which was this one over here. So on this website, what hasn't happened, something has gone wrong here. Something's gone wrong. What has gone wrong? Well, number one, quantity 1, 0 price. Then they had a special occasion gifting box, and that one also came up as a 0. And then there's a shipping cost of 99 Rand. So you're going to, how does the 99 Rand work on the shipping thing? Now over here, I just put in I didn't put in a fictitious email. I just put in Quentin's email address, and it took me to the checkout. I went to the checkout, and it had the same thing. This got 99 Rand. Now, if this is your website and you're out there, building a business and trying to make money, my goodness, how can you have this website live if it doesn't work? You've got no pricing on your products or services, and you've got a shipping cost of 99 Rand. For what? There's no prices. What is this? This web developer should be shot in the face with a shotgun. What is this website? Now, I don't like this URL, www.thegiftinglink, .company.site. What is that? It's very Google unfriendly, number one. Maybe you've done it for Spotify or something like that. Obviously, you got your email address, it's fine, telephone number, you got some referrals, but this here is just so wrong. Now, when you go out and you build a company, you build an entity, you cannot afford to look like this. You cannot afford to embarrass your company like this. I know somebody earlier on asked, what is a good company? What's a great example? Well, I've just told you, we build almost like a one-page creative advertising sales website. We don't build a website that's got 300 pages anymore. That is changing around the world, and you guys need to understand that's the new normal in terms of websites and so forth. So just pay attention to that, because it's important for you to understand the DNA and the process to that particular thing. Because when you have a bad website, I need to just click through all these things. When you have a bad website, right? When you have a bad website, and go back, it can really hurt your credibility, and it can really, really hurt your business. And so this is an important timeline in tonight's session, is to do a little bit of a Q&A, and then I'll introduce you to a great special quickly. Well, I'll show you the special first, and then we'll do the Q&A. And so what I'm going to do is, I don't normally do this. I'm gonna offer you guys an opportunity. Obviously, we have Zoom, the Zoomination, every Monday night, and it only costs 995 Rand, which if you divide by 4.3, which is the average number of weeks per month per year, it's 213 Rand a week. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in what I call my impact coaching session, which is an assess, discovery, and obviously a guidance session. I'm going to throw that in. I charge 7.5 grand for that normally to anybody that signs up on Zoomination. And there's going to be a timeline to it. The reason being is the debit order run happens on the 26th of every month. And so anybody that signs up tonight or tomorrow morning, I'm going to be throwing this in to the works, right? That means no more wasting time. Get cracking, start growing. The second thing that I'm going to do is I'm also going to email you my launch formula. I have a specific formula for launching companies and or businesses. And I normally only do this in Club CEO. Our Club CEO program costs 45,000 Rand, but I'm not doing Club CEO anymore. And so I will also email you my launch formula in terms of how I launch my businesses for anybody that signs up on the Zoomination sessions. Remember, it's every Monday night from 8 p.m. South African time until 9 p.m. We normally actually go on until 9:30, a little bit later than that. But anybody that signs up, I'm going to send you my launch formula. It's very, very explanatory, and it shows you the whole thing. And there it is. So that's the regular Zoomination access price is 995 Rand per month. Now, I know I've got people here from England. I don't even know what that is in pounds. Actually, for interest sake, I want to go check. What would that be in pounds? It's probably about £3. Let me just check over here and go to XE. So if you were in the UK, I don't want to update my software. Damn it. No. No, I can't do it. Somebody work out for me what is 995 Rand in pounds and in dollars. Work it out for me. So if you sign up, you're going to get that coaching session, and you're going to get my formula on how to do it. And like I said, if you sign up before 12 noon tomorrow, 26th of March, you get the power coaching session, and you get that. And then what I'm also going to do is, if you've got a business partner or staff that you want to add to this session, remember, it's every Monday night, 8 p.m. Your staff will have to be really committed, because most staff don't like doing training after hours. But if you've got a business partner or somebody else that you'd like to sign up to join you, we will only charge you 99 Rand per month per attendee. And we've got a lot of companies that have actually joined us, and they've got their staff on there, and they're loving it, because it's just such a great way to train, motivate, and so forth their staff. And so the primary member pays 995, and then obviously every additional member only pays 99 Rand. I think that's a fantastic deal. So summarize, number one, I'm going to send you number one is I'm going to do an impact one-on-one coaching session. How much is it? Oh, 66. That's dollars, eh? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so $66. Someone needs to tell me what it'll cost in pounds. Don't tell that to dollars or £1. Anyway, so I normally charge, like I said, this isn't my normal fee. Now, a lot of you have asked me in the chat group, you've asked me, you want coaching and so forth like that. Normally, I don't take on coaching students, but when I do an impact coaching session like this, if I find out that the person is, where I know I can help them and grow their business and so forth, then and only then I choose my coaching students and take them on the journey. I don't just let new guys come on board. And so you get a free coaching session, an impact coaching session. My team will book it with you, and you'll be able to join that session. And then, like I said, I'll send you where's my mouse? And then I'll send you my launch formula, which once you've signed up and everything, I'll send that through to you. It's a PDF document. It's about 12 pages. It runs through the whole process and, how we do it. And of course, like I said, if you bring anybody else on board, i.e. your business partners and so forth, we only add, it's only 48 pounds. Oh, there we go. So 48 pounds, $66. It's for free. It's like nothing. 48 pounds, 12 pounds a week. And then you can bring your staff on board. And how you register is obviously you just go to this link. You go to andrewsmith.co.za/power-zoom-room. So andrewsmith.co.za/power-zoom-room. The offer expires tomorrow at, I think the team told me 12 o'clock is the latest they can load it. So 12 o'clock South African time tomorrow. You have to have registered on this platform. And then obviously we will then start the rollout, and then you will join our Zoom Nation sessions. It's been great having you guys on board tonight. So let's open up a little bit of a Q&A session for tonight. I know some of you are maybe half asleep by now, but I'm going to just move my chat function over here so I can see the whole thing. We can ask questions on the sidelines over here. Yeah, I've had a few people actually sending me their website and then saying, please tell this one guy just said, yeah, please tell me if we're shit or not. LOL. So, I don't want to kill you guys on the platform tonight, because obviously everybody else is. So let's do some Q&A. You can ask questions for a little while. I know we said this whole thing would be 4 hours. We've actually finished a bit quicker than I thought I would. It's 21:33 at the moment. So let's do a Q&A. Start checking out some questions. And if you can, just try to keep the questions a little bit shorter. If you type an essay for me, it's quite difficult for me to read the whole thing, and everybody's got to sit and listen to that. So while the questions are coming through, do I need to reiterate the special? So if you join Zoom Nation, it's 995 Rand a month, 231 Rand a week, and you get an hour's worth of coaching. And like I said, I cover everything. I cover systems, strategies, marketing, advertising, social media platforms. I bring you up to speed in terms of the latest trends, video, everything that is to do with business and growing business. And we've got quite a few guys on Zoom Nation already, guys that have been with us for a long time. And so most people that join don't quit. So it has to, that says that, obviously it's not bad value. But if you guys are keen to actually come on board, just fill in that link, Andrew Smith, www.andrewsmith.co.za/ what is it again? I can't remember. / what? Hold on a second. Sometimes, sometimes you can be smart. There we go. So it's / power-zoom-room. AndrewSmith.co.za / power-zoom-room. And we obviously will then pick up your thingy, and once your debit order, your first debit order is successful, we'll contact you and so forth. So let's go through some questions over here. All right. So while you're thinking about registering, let's answer some questions. Okay, advice to a farmer in a drought. Well, your industry is pretty much governed by what falls out of the sky. So you got two choices. One is diversify and go and do something else that doesn't require water out of the sky. I have coached a lot. There we go. I've coached a lot of farming entities that have the same issue. And you know what? If there's no rain, nothing is going to grow. And if your business is built on that, and it's actually a lesson in itself, is if your business is governed by something out of your control, you possibly want to try and do something or add something on that isn't or doesn't have that kind of element of control, if that makes any sense. And so sometimes it's a good idea, sometimes just a good idea to diversify and find some other type of product or service that you can do. How do you answer a question? If the rain stops coming, what do you do? Marcus says, how long is Zoom? Well, there it is. How long is a Zoom session and what times? It's an hour. It's typically an hour long. I know we normally go over because I sometimes, can't keep quiet and shut up talking. You can turn off and leave anytime you like, but it's typically 1 hour. I would say probably an average of an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes. And it's every Monday evening, and it starts at 8 p.m. So the kids are in bed. You finished, finished work. You've got back home. and you can fit in. It was a time that we did a survey to find out what time people would prefer it. Monday night seems to be the best night. Friday never works. Wednesday doesn't work. Monday is the night, and so that's why we do Monday nights. The question over here is, do you start some businesses from your ideas, market research, or partners that approach you? I do a little bit of both, to be honest with you. I'm the ideas guy. I find that I've got millions of ideas. I'm an idea a minute. Every single 5 seconds, I'm thinking of something new and fresh and exciting and cutting edge. My problem is turning the ideas off, is that I can't seem to turn off the ideas, and I cannot seem to turn off the money engine. In other words, wherever I go, I see business opportunities everywhere. I can't turn it off. I go to a restaurant, I see opportunities. I go to travel, I go, whatever. I just cannot stop seeing it. So I do have people approaching me with business ideas. I generally don't just jump into bed or go into business with people just off the cuff. I normally walk a little bit of a road with them, find out who they are, understand the DNA, see their work ethic, see how organized they are before I get into business with them. Because there's a lot of people out there with brilliant ideas, and they arrive with a dossier of their business plans and all that crap. And 99.9% of the time, they want money, or they want my leads and stuff like that. And so I'm very, very picky in terms of who I get into business with, and so should you be very picky on who you get into business with. Yeah, that's a bit of a difficult question to answer because I don't understand your business. Best way to get wealthy clients that bring you work. Best way to get wealthy clients that will bring you work. Why would a wealthy client bring you work? Or are you talking about a wealthy client buying from you? So wealthy clients, when you do structured advertising and segmented marketing, you can segment and find wealthy people. Obviously, remember, whenever a person says to me, the only clients I have are wealthy clients, your biggest problem is only 1% of people in the world are wealthy. Right? 4% of the people are financially independent. And so you've only got a 5% pool to work from. And so if your business is dependent on dealing with only wealthy clients, your pool is very small. And so your offering has to be very, very strategic. The positioning of your product and service has to be very strategic. And you've got to be very, very clever in terms of how you position and place your product online. Because when people check you out, wealthy people have a discerning eye. Wealthy people check things out in a different way to what you do. Remember, a multimillionaire reads the same book as you, and they get a different message than you do because they're a multimillionaire. They understand the world differently to you. And so, if you want to attract wealthy people, you've got to look good. Remember, it's like a fish lure. You got to look great to attract great. When starting up a business, how much time is typical for planning, investigation, setup before launching? 3, 6, 9, 12 months. Look, I mean, you should be able to create investigative platforms where you broadcast and stick it out there, where you get a response within 30 days. I mean, I can investigate any product or service within 30 days, and I can tell you whether I would get into that business or not, because I can check and see, number one, who's already selling the product. I also check to see why big companies are not selling the product. I also do investigative. I build what I call the lead and bleed campaign, and I broadcast the product into a space, and then I check the bounce back, and I check to see who's reacting and how many people contact me and react to it. Now, that only takes, look, it takes 10 to 15, maybe 20,000 Rand to do that. But if I position it properly and I do it right, I can get an answer within 30 days. So I would rather spend 10 to 15,000 Rand finding out whether that's a great product or a rubbish product, and not just jumping at it, than actually, believing that this is the epicenter of the whole business universe and then go and stick, 2 million Rand into something. I'd rather spend a bit of money, test it out, and then I would take it to market before I'd, kind of go completely off the edge. What is the most reliable and easy to use accounting software for a small business? Okay, that's an easy answer. There's a few answers here. Number one, you could use Sage Online, which is a pastel product. It's 220 Rand a month. You could use Xero Software, which is an Australian company, which is about 350 to 400 Rand a month. You could use QuickBooks, which is also now an online platform, which is also about 200 to 300 Rand a month. But if you talk about an easy to use accounting software, if you are a left-brain person, you'll figure out accounting software very easily. If you're like me, I am pretty, right-brained, and for me to go and try and figure out accounting software, I don't want to do it. I'd rather have my accountant do it for me, rather than me trying to figure it out myself. But if you're a small business owner and you can't afford an accountant and you want to do it yourself, I recommend finding yourself a kind of retired bookkeeper or someone like that that can do the bulk of your work for you at a very small or low fee, and then use one of these accounting platforms. And then as your business starts to grow, you can then, kind of merge and get somebody that is a little bit more experienced. But the software online, in the old days, you used to buy, Pastel. I think it was called Pastel, not Pastel Partners. I think it was called Pastel Express. And it used to cost about 2,000 Rand to buy the thing. You loaded it onto your PC, and then you did your books and stuff like that, invoicing and whatever else. That's old tech. The new technology or the new concepts now is in cloud accounting. Everything is in the cloud. So you can load everything from your office into the cloud, and your accountant can log in from wherever they are. They can be in Timbuktu if you want them to be. They can log in and they can finalize your stuff. And if you want them to do payroll, VAT returns, whatever the case may be, PAYE or whatever else, they can do it from wherever they are. And so, online software is really cheap now. I mean, 200 Rand a month is peanuts. And I know we use Pastel. We have been using Pastel for a while, and we have been told about Xero and all the other different things, but we find Pastel to be great. But go and check them out. Go to Xero. I think it's spelled Xero, Xero, and obviously Softline, not Softline, what do they call it? Sage One Accounting. Sage One is the online Pastel version. You can go and check them out. How can we become a client to sell products on your new platform? Just pop me in this particular case. You can pop me a message, and then we can kind of invite you to a presentation on how it works. It's complicated, but it's simple. But it's like trying to do a haircut over the phone. I wouldn't be able to explain it to you over the telephone. So normally what I would do in this case is I do what we do. We just do a Zoom session, and then I do a presentation through Zoom. We show you